China's military is defending a dangerous maneuver one of its aircraft made near a Philippine plane over the hotly disputed South China Sea. Journalists on board the Philippines aircraft recorded a Chinese military helicopter coming within 3 meters of the plane near Scarborough Shoal off northwestern Philippines. The Philippines Coast Guard has described the maneuver as a, quote, reckless action and says it poses a serious risk to the safety of the pilots. China, which claims almost all of the South China Sea as its territory, says the Philippines aircraft illegally intruded into its airspace. Tuesday's incident is one of many between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea, but one of few happening in the skies. To find out more about how these tensions are evolving, our reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to Aaron Matthew Lariosa, an independent security analyst based in Washington, D.C.
When we look at this dangerous maneuver from China next to this Philippine military aircraft, what is the most concerning thing that pops out at you?
The aerial incidents around Scarborough Shoal have been gradually increasing within the last year or two. This is particularly severe because this is like the first time, as we see from the video, the helicopter's gotten that close, roughly 3 meters, hovering above the Cessna, which did have embarked Philippine journalists that captured all of this. The Philippine Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources routinely sends out their patrol aircraft just to keep an eye on maritime militia and other activities. And in response, Chinese forces also do scramble, actually. They've scrambled fighter jets, helicopters, other assets to actually kind of shadow and to an extent harass these missions. For example, last August, we saw a Chinese fighter jet dump flares in front of a similar mission, and that was extremely unprofessional. And as we see on the sea, with the unprofessional conduct, the rammings, the other stuff, we are seeing a somewhat expansion of this into the aerial domain as Manila starts to extend more options up there.
Now, the Philippines is no stranger to Chinese aggression in the waters around the Philippines with the Coast Guard, maritime militia, and the Navy. But now it seems that this aggression is spilling to the skies above the South China Sea. How does the Philippines manage this kind of aggression?
You know, the Philippines is an asymmetric disadvantage here. This is a very different domain from the stuff on the water. This involves aircraft and all of that, which it's at a disadvantage. The Philippine Air Force only has 12 jets. They did float the possibility of doing escort missions with these, but you know, these are pretty the short legs on these jets. They can't exactly do sustain escort. The Philippine Air Force has been mirrored in a sort of a procurement quagmire with these new fighter jets they want, but that's been going on for decades at this point. So Manila has toyed with the idea of actually escorting these, but it doesn't exactly have the capability. Going forward, though, they don't really have too much of an option. It's either they stop the missions, accept that there will be risk or potential accidents, or keep going ahead and accept the risk in order to uphold their patrols and their sovereignty missions.
With Trump now in office, do you think there's going to be any differences in the way that the United States and the Philippines cooperate together to handle tensions in the South China Sea?
So I think this administration would probably want to kind of be a bit more, I wouldn't say aggressive, but at least a bit more present, at least visibly facing, to help out the Filipinos in this. A lot of the stuff they've already done, that could be building upon what happened in the Biden administration, which, did a lot of stuff. They did EDCA, they increased joint patrols, they did all of this. But with the Trump administration, especially with that language of reestablishing deterrence, that could give a strong indication of what's to come.